We're here at the Orlando Tow Show in Florida. Dexter's going to be kind enough to walk me around the new 850XT Landoll trailer.
All right, so we have the new Landoll 850XT trailer here. We'll get started on the gooseneck and make our way back. So at the front, you can notice that we have the ability to add a 3-foot flip extension. We have the optional winch, 20K or 30K on the top. We also have our aluminum plate that covers the top if you want to cover the top, or you can have that open as well. With this trailer, you have the ability to load buses and RVs and low clearance loads. With that, we suggest adding these bus ramps. You'll have 2 ramps that come with that option. One is this wedge ramp, and then you also have an extension ramp. With that, it allows you to lift that rear axle as you're driving up the approach, depending on if the bumper starts to rub or if you're getting close to where you're going to rub. It just extends that approach angle further back. With the ramp, we also have our ramp storage. What it does is it allows you to load it up into a transport position, and then just with a simple pull on the handle, you can bring them down to waist level and then load them off. Each ramp's right around 60 pounds, so we're also one of the lightest on our ramps, all aluminum ramps as well. With the ramp storage, if your truck doesn't have fenders, we suggest adding a fender option just to protect the ramp storage, but also your load behind it.
So that'll keep rocks from flying.
That'll keep your debris from flying up on your load. Yep. We also have our standard detached controls, your winch controls, your hydraulic controls, your air controls for your gooseneck functions, and then you also have your work lights if you have the work light option, and then also your other light there,
and this
panel
work light right here.
So this trailer also has our optional stop, turn, tail lights with work lights. We also have our new Tyree work lights that are smart lights. They are programmable through Bluetooth, so you can turn them on and off with your phone. You can also dim them and change the color temperature from your phone. A lot of adjustment with those lights. Then we have our gooseneck connections. The front of this trailer shares the same front platform as our 855 trailers, so it has the same ramp options that are available from the 855. You can, with the bus ramps, we have the 16-inch pin-on ramps. You can get power ramp. You can get our 24-inch flip-over ramps. There's quite a few options.
Yeah, the power ramp's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So then on the back of the neck, we also have an optional air hookup and electrical hookup. We also have our chain and binder rack.
Is that a lock there?
Yep, you can also put locks in there. Yep. And then a nice storage area as well. We also have our dual toolbox option. They're load-bearing lids, so you can drive over the center with your load. Also a good spot to put your hoses for your hydraulics and additional outriggers.
And we'll circle around to that.
Down the side, you'll see outriggers. That's a pretty common option. They can be taken off as well. And then you have your standard D-rings down the side of the trailer. You also see on the top deck, we have keyhole tie downs as many places as possible. So you have a keyhole about every 20 inches down the side of the trailer. Also on the top of the deck, you'll see an opening. So this is where you can confirm your pin lock is through your pin lock location.
So it's for like a visibility
thing. Yep, a second check. So
redundancy.
You'll see then we have our extension beams. So when you're extended, we encourage parking on both frames, which
that's impressive. That's in industry that's not standard. That's special to Landoll.
Yes. With the extensions, we also have our e-chain capability, running all your rear components, power, hydraulics, etc. Very easy, accessible to service or do whatever you need to. It also comes with this plate that allows you access to your your air hookups, and then also just easy access to unhook those components from the rear frame as well. So it's quick attach serviceability. At the back side of this frame, you'll see your grease zerks. Those are going to be your central grease for your 4 cam followers on your front frame. And then on the other side, we'll see the other grease bank for the rear frame. Yep. On the extension beams, we have D-rings and also your marker lights to light up at night.
That's impressive too, because that's kind of special to land all that lighting, especially.
And then we get to our rear frame, as we call it. So that we have our trunnion approach ramps, just a simple operation. You got a little handle here to utilize. These are weight bearing, so you can park your load on there, drop them down. If you don't want them and you want a little lower deck height, you can just unbolt them with 3 bolts and you get another 3 inches of deck height.
Oh, for your loaded deck height.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of which, what is the loaded deck height on it?
So 22 inches is our loaded deck height at our highest location.
So 22-inch loaded deck
That's
height.
with around a 6-inch ground clearance driving the front. So you can play with the ground clearance in the front with our gooseneck. You can also then go here and adjust your ride height with our standard Landoll handle adjustment. So this carries over from all of our other detaches as well.
Can you tell them it's kind of like a whittle valve? Just say it's kind of like a whittle valve.
It's kind of like a whittle valve.
It's kind of like a whittle. Yeah, exactly.
So all you do is you pull out and then you can move it to whichever ride height you want to go. We suggest normal ride height is your typical ride. That's going to give you your optimal position. You can also go to a -1 or +1 while you're loaded. And then if you go higher, these will not be loaded heights, but they will also, they're there so you can get higher with your rear lift axle if you have a rear lift axle option.
Okay. That's really cool.
Give you more ground clearance. So with this is kind of our centralized control panel, like our 400s and 900 trailers. This is your pin lock. So to unlock, all you do is pull it out, and that's for the extension. That's for the extension operation. Yeah.
So lock your deck when you're extending or
unextending. So in is locked, out pops those pins out, and then this trailer is optioned with a rear lift axle, air lift axle, and a center chain lift axle. Both are going to be able to be functioned separately. So this one dumps the air from the rear axle. This one dumps the air from the center axle.
Okay. Because there's options for a lift on the second?
Yes.
Perfect.
So then we also have our strobe light standard, and then we have a work light option in the rear, and then our panel light to light up this at night so you can see. And then this trailer has a little extra lighting for the show.
Oh, okay. Will that be optional for the customers?
Possibly.
Maybe in the future. And then what's this indicator light here?
So this indicator light is for your pin lock. So when you pull this lever and it unlocks those pins, each cylinder is tied to a light on each side. So we have 2 pins, one on each side of the trailer. This light is tied to that pin. The light on that side is tied to that pin.
Oh, okay. So they're independent. Okay.
Yep. So they'll tell you, hey, one pin's out, one pin isn't maybe, or both pins are out. I'm good to move now. So this is kind of your first indication. And then we would suggest always to confirm before you drive down the road that they're out as well for your second check.
Okay, yeah, for the redundancy.
And then down here, we've also added this feature from customer request. 2 pins, you pull off a plate, and then you have storage for a height measuring stick in our tube there. Structural components, and utilize that space for more storage.
Storage, okay.
So about everything on this trailer, if there's a space for storage, we've kind of added that. So these are optional quick mount flags. We also, in our rear and front, we weld in tubes for flag mounting as standard, but then you can add, if you have quick mount flags on your trucks and other trailers, you can utilize those as well. The holes will come standard on the trailer, and then you can add them from the factory or add them later. Spec tire is the Michelin 245s. You can get 235s or 245s. They're all available. I think our sales was just suggesting we start with the Michelins there. They're a good tire.
Yeah, people like Michelins.
Yeah. And then our bolsters. So the bolsters are, you can park your loads on them. They also have internal storage and come from the factory with 8 pieces of wood that you can utilize in different locations for load heights and just different options.
Okay.
Or you can take them out and use them somewhere else, but they'll come from the factory with that. So you'll have 4 bolsters, all of them with the same storage inside. The trailer's got Dexter suspension. This one's got TIS on it, so tire inflation. Keep your tires inflated to maximum pressure. This trailer's also got the boom trough covers, so you can set your load, whatever you have. So we're not calling this trailer a bus trailer. It's an extendable, detached trailer that can haul buses, because we've had a test trailer out there and this trailer can hold about anything that you put on it. So it's a very versatile trailer. So we look forward to seeing how customers will utilize the different spaces. Then in the trough covers, you can see little dot lights. Those are little white lights that light up the center area. They're called our work zone lighting. So when you're driving over this area at night, it'll illuminate between the beams so you can see up underneath that vehicle. Or if you take the trough covers off, it gives you kind of the work lighting to look at the axles and that stuff inside the trunnion area. You'll also see on this side, so we have these optional ramps. These can be utilized in the rear or on the trunnion beams where the slots are cut in the frame. So in the rear area, you can utilize them for approach over the tire. This is just in one location. There's 3 locations here. So this can help you get over that rear tire if you're coming off the back. You can also use it to play with the load, making sure that the load is cleared from the tire as you're driving. Or if you move it to the front, then it'll help with getting over the approach of the trunnion beam and getting that front approach angle started sooner.
And it locks into those slots.
And it just drops in with gravity, and the load will push it into those slots.
Okay.
So super simple. And then once you're done with it, either store it in if you have an extra spot without a winch, you'll store them there or up in the gooseneck, or they can also bolt in the back.
And this one's equipped with a winch in the back, but it can also be right here too.
Correct. Yep. You can option for a winch in the center area or in the rear, and then also the gooseneck. So 3 locations.
A roller there too, right?
Yep. So as soon as you get a winch option, it'll put a roller in the front and the rear of this area just to give it a clean operation through the trunnion area.
So whatever's appropriate, they'll put the rollers there.
Yep. And then also in the back. So as you go down the trailer, you can see all the D-rings all throughout the outside of the trailer. So if you run down the side of it, you got a D-ring just spread throughout the whole side.
Good morning, good morning.
This one has the airway scale. You can also get a right way scale as an option. You'll also see that on our detaches now we have a standard dump valve that'll dump suspension with just one pull of the valve and then push it in, and it'll reinflate the suspension. This trailer also has air chucks in the rear on both sides, so you have an air hookup from your tank that can be utilized for the load if the suspension needs aired up or brakes need released on the load.
Right, you be hauling buses,
you might be hauling a dead RV.
Trucks,
yeah,
RV with a camper.
Yep. So this ties in just like the front air chuck into the trailer air, utilizing air from the truck.
Air.
Yep. And then you have your marker ABS light, and then in the rear, so these are locations that you can hook up those bus ramps to. So then you can angle from the rear, load from the rear as well.
The same ramps get hooked
Same
up
ramps.
in the back.
Yep. And then comes standard with a 2-inch receiver hitch. So if you have an RV that's pulling a trailer, you can hook up into the rear, pull that trailer with it, so you're not leaving anything on the side of the road.
Right.
And then it also comes with a 7-blade connector. Which is unique to us. So we've worked with Grody on that converts a normal commercial trailer plug into a 7-blade. So that way, if you have a car hauler or a car trailer or an enclosed trailer behind that RV, it'll light up that trailer just like the RV will.
So it can hook up to RV and everything like RV's.
Yep.
Is a Warn winch?
Warn winch is our standard winch. We are working on another winch with Braden. Yep.
Possibly Ramsey. 20 and 30K?
20 and 30K are options right now, yeah. And then going to the other side. So on this side in the rear, we have our winch hydraulic hookups. So So if you get the winch, if you get a winch option on the trailer, you'll get the hydraulic hookups in the rear and in the front. Those are our standard couplers. And then you'll see the winch. So with our Warns, they're 2 speeds. So you have high, low, and then also the free spool valve. Same thing, bolster, storage. And then you can see through the trunnion, we got our colored airlines. Each color will tell you different hookups, and those will all be standard throughout our product line as well. So from service and warranty and parts, it'll be easy to tell what's what. Kind of the same thing down the side. From the other side, you got your ramps, same thing, handle, and then storage from the other side. This would be your centralized grease for the rear frame. So you'll have your axles and then your front cam followers for your extension beams.
So we can get all your grease in. Okay.
So you'll just have 2 locations for grease. And then same thing on this side, that's your light for this side, pin lock.
Indicator light.
Yep. I think that's about it.
Got it. Thank you so much.
No problem.